What's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing an efficiency test on a 5% climb, a little bit under a half mile or so. Today it's going to be about 2.5 to 3 minutes. So we're going to do 3 efforts sitting and 3 efforts standing. It's going to be interesting to see which is faster. I know for me, standing feels a little bit easier. We're going to keep today at the same amount of watts. So around 4 watts per kilo, so 300 watts for me. So yeah, should be interesting. Let's dive in. We're here on Sunshine Canyon in Boulder, Colorado. It's an absolutely perfect September day. Probably about 75 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Ton of cyclists out here today. So yeah, let's go give it a shot. All right, so just finished up my 6th effort. Went pretty well. Held a little over 300 watts for all of them. It's pretty consistent. Interested to see what the times were. So just a quick review of the circumstances. So it's around a half mile, I think. Around 3 minutes for each effort. I tried to keep the same line for all the efforts, so I wasn't cutting corners or anything. When I was seated, I stayed seated for the entire time. Same for standing. I was standing up the entire time, which gets a little tough after a couple minutes. But yeah, it was a good effort. Let's go take a look at the results. So I'll quickly overlay the segment here. You can see that it was 0.52 miles long with an elevation gain of 153 feet. This gives us a percent grade of 5.6%. I created this segment just for this effort, for this challenge, so this was specifically created for this. All right, so here you can see my results. just wanted to give you a quick review of the conditions I used. So I did this all on the same day. I did all 6 efforts in a row. I did a sitting effort and then a standing effort. Repeated that for 3 times. I didn't cut any corners. I didn't have any people to draft off of. I tried to keep everything pretty much the same. I didn't drop any weight between. So everything was done in as normalized a situation as possible. I wanted to do a real life scenario. You can look up studies and such all you want, but the only real way you can tell things is if you go out and do it yourself. So to review the results now, on the sitting attempts, I was pretty consistent with my watts within a 5-watt range. I averaged right under 306, which is 4.02 watts per kilo for me. That gave me an average time of 234, an average heart rate of around 158. I listed my max heart rates there, so I was 166 on the average. And then my average cadence was right below 83. For the standing attempts, I averaged 312 watts. I wasn't quite as consistent there, but that gave me an average watts per kilo of 4.11. This gave me an average time of 251. Heart rate was a tad lower at right under 157. Max heart rate was also a bit lower. It only got up to 161 on average. And then cadence, I was right below 60, so you can tell I was definitely grinding on that gear. So we can come to the conclusion here that at the same watts, standing is roughly 12% slower than sitting at this climb on this day. I think that result is pretty accurate with other tests I've done for myself in the past. I was a little bit higher on the watts while standing. It's a little bit easier for me to put out watts when I'm standing. If you would have normalized the watts, though, I would have been about 19 seconds faster when I was sitting compared to standing, which is about a 12% difference, which is definitely, valid and something that you want to watch. If you're doing longer climbs, this is just going to be extrapolated over that. So something to watch. It's definitely better to sit. If you found this video interesting, please leave a like down below. I'm going to be repeating this on a steeper climb in the future, so be sure to subscribe to be able to watch that video when it comes out. Otherwise, that's all I got for this video, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.